Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Megan, and today we are going to be doing a homeschool curriculum haul. For those of you who don't know me, on this channel you will find me, my wife Alyssa, and our 4 kids, Gabby, Mason, Sage, and Jet. And we do lots of lifestyle content, vlogs, challenges, pranks, hauls, anything you can think of. We would love to have you be a part of the Cole fam and spend time with us. So let's get into the video. I'm going to show you a little bit of backstory actually. We are only homeschooling the girls. So Gabby and Sage, Gabby is going into 7th grade this year, and Sage technically is preschool age, but we did preschool with her last year. So we are doing kindergarten this year with her. So I'm going to show you all of the books that we are using for them. There are a couple of things that are online, but we're mostly book-based. And I will also add that all of this is secular content. None of it is religious-based. So let's start with, let's do this in the order that I have it planned for the day. So our day is going to start with math. So Gabby will be using the Spectrum Math 7. I really love the way these are laid out. So they take like a pre-test and then they have a lesson each day, and it's either 1 or 2 pages. 2 pages is the most they'll ever do a day. And then there's little like check-in quizzes and then tests for each chapter. So we have those. Gabby will actually be working through book 7 and 8 this year. And then Sage is also doing Spectrum for math, and she's at the kindergarten one. Hers is kind of set up the same way with 1 or 2 pages per day. And all of these books have answer keys in the back for parents to use so that you can teach alongside. So if they have any questions, you can refer to the back of the book so that you can help them understand. Okay, and then we also have it set up so that every time that Gabby takes a test, the following day after she's reviewed and corrected the test, the next day, the girls will play a math game. We have a few that we are ordering. I will link them down below, obviously, but I'll put a couple pictures here. Let me take a look at what I have in my cart. So the first one is called Real Big Catch, and it's kind of like that fish game. I'll put it up here, but it's kind of like that fish game that we all used to play as kids, and then they compare the size and they figure out which one's bigger, which one's smaller. And a lot of these games are geared more towards Sage's age, obviously, because otherwise she wouldn't have fun if they were too complicated. And then the other one is called Count Your Chickens. And it almost looks like a Candyland type game. And I assume there's some counting involved and probably chickens involved. So those are the couple, and I'm sure we'll come up with some more, but we wanted to kind of break up and have more of a fun day after Gabby has a test. So we're going to do math games instead of math lessons on those days. So the next subject of the day is language arts. We are also doing Spectrum for language arts, and they are set up very much the same way. You have 1 lesson per day. The most it ever is 2 pages. Most of them are only 1 page. And then same for Sage. She's also in the Spectrum workbook. Hers kind of looks like this. I love that they have pictures and stuff, but they're not super cheesy. They're just very cute and simple and easy to navigate. Okay, so the next subject of the day is writing. So for writing, Gabby actually has 2 separate books. First one is the Spectrum writing. So very similar. Again, Spectrum pretty much keeps it the same through all of their books, which is very nice because they just understand that they need to do the next lesson in the book that day, and when they finish that lesson, they're done for the day. So it's super nice the way that they lay this out. This one does have a little bit of instruction to read. As we move into like the language arts, reading and writing, they have a little bit more reading to do, and then answering by writing paragraphs. Yeah, so different topics, goes through different topics, gives them writing prompts. Very cute. And then the next one is Evan Moore, Daily Paragraph Editing. So it is really just a paragraph. So this is 1 day's worth here. And basically she'll read through and there's errors in here and she finds the errors, tells her whether she needs to circle it or highlight it or however she needs to do it. And then we go through it together and make sure there's nothing that she missed. But there's one of those prompts a day. And then I do think the last day of the week is a short essay prompt. That is Gabby's writing curriculum. For Sage, she has the Spectrum kindergarten book, same thing, 1 lesson per day. It starts out with like a review of tracing and writing letters. It goes through all 26. So the first 26 days, she's just reviewing writing her letters, which is something she already knows how to do, but just a little review because we haven't done any formal education in a little while. And then it goes on to writing actual words and then doing like first, then last, phrases, drawing pictures, writing sentences. Okay, next subject of the day is reading. So for Gabby, she has the Evan Moore 7th grade daily reading comprehension. So she has a passage to read every day, small passage, and then she answers questions about it. And that's it. Just working on understanding what you're reading, answering a couple questions. That's it. And then also for reading, after she finishes the reading comprehension section, we are working on novels. So the first book we're going to be reading all together is The Giver. And this is one of my favorite books in middle school to read. So we're going to do this. We're going to do a reading journal. So there's going to be prompts about developing characters and answering questions about the book. So we'll read a few chapters a day, work on the reading journal, and then at the end we will watch the movie. She will write a paper about it, which will kind of leak over into her writing section. So the few days that she's supposed to be writing the essay for reading, she won't be doing her writing books. So, and then we also have a final project on it. So that's the first book. And then the second book is actually Alyssa's favorite book from middle school. So she's going to do Touching Spirit Bear. And then the same format, we will read a couple chapters a day, do a reading journal, do a final paper, do a final project. This one does not have a movie. And I do already have our reading list for the year, so I'll let you know. I don't have all of the physical books yet, but I'll let you know what books we're planning on doing. Let's see. So those are the first two, and then I have The Outsiders. For Christmas time, we're going to do A Christmas Carol, and then A Long Walk to Water, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, The Hunger Games, and then Holes. So that will be our reading list for this year, the 7th grade. And so for reading, Sage will obviously listen along to these books if I will probably read some of the chapters out loud. I don't expect her to be super invested in the storyline, but she also has a reading curriculum that she does online. It's an app called reading.com. We have been using it for probably about a year now. We haven't been super great about using it recently, but we really like it. It starts out with teaching them letter sounds and then teaches them how to blend that into words. Super interactive. They like use their finger to slide as they sound out the words. It's really great. We love it. And we're going to continue that through this year. Okay, next is science. So for science, we only have a curriculum for Gabby. And what we're going to do is we're all going to do it kind of together. So whatever Gabby is learning that day, we're just going to kind of tone it down for Sage in a way that she can understand it. So we're doing the Spectrum Science. So the way that they set this up, again, 1 lesson per day. So it is like a passage to read and then questions to answer. And that's the learning for the day. The only thing I thought was a little strange about this is that it doesn't seem like the lessons are very connected. I mean, they are, but they aren't. you wouldn't have to read the previous one to understand the next, I guess, which is, I guess, good and bad, however you look at it. We've never done homeschooling for this age group, so we'll see if this is a curriculum that we end up liking. But yeah, so they have a passage to read, some questions to answer a day, and that's it. I have gone through and looked at the topics and have planned some like science experiments. Like one of them is on geodes and crystals, and I think we're gonna do like geode cracking. And then once we get to like the space module, we'll probably do some space models and stuff like that. Next topic is social studies. And for social studies, we are switching back and forth between US history and government. So for US history, we are using Mark Twain Media and Carson DeLosa. This is the first chunk of the US history from them. This is people and events from 1607 to 1865. So very similar to the other ones. A passage to read, questions to answer, and that's it for the day. And this goes in chronological order, which is nice. And this one, I do not think this one has official tests or quizzes. No, this one does not. There's that. And then I also got the maps book to go along with all of our US history courses. So sometimes it's nice just to get a layout, try to find one that makes sense, like early migration to the United States. So one day we will do US history, and then the next day we'll do government, and we'll go back and forth like that. So for government and civics, let's see who makes this. So the name of this company is Let's Cultivate Greatness. It's the foundations of United States government and civics. And it has, this one we are breaking up a little different because I think we have it so that each lesson takes up 2 days. Yeah, because the lessons are kind of long. So like this lesson is a big chunk to read, and then I think I have it set up so that like day one, she reads this and answers the first 3 questions, and then the second day answers the last 3 questions, and then we move on and kind of split it up like that. Let's see what this one covers. Why we have government, United States form of government, Congress, legislative branch, president, executive branch, Supreme Court, state and local government, symbols of the United States. So yeah, and so Sage will follow along with this. We will obviously just tone it down a bit. Okay, so that covers all of our main subjects. And then we have our specials or extracurriculars or whatever you like to call them, whatever your school district calls them. So we have 5 different ones. So Mondays, I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Realistically, school is not going to be done that way. My schedule is always different every week. So most of the time school will probably be done mostly on days that I'm home. But so the first day of the week is going to be art. So we'll start there. Our first art module is going to be watercolors. So we'll learn about color theory and color mixing. For Sage, she'll be learning about primary and secondary colors. They'll be learning about like painting skills, mixing skills, like that. So for our actual books, we have a few. I actually bought too many because I didn't realize that I already had what I needed. But for Gabby, she's got this little animals watercolor book from Emily Leck's studio. It's super cute. It has like a little instructional about watercolor basics, supplies you'll need, and then it talks about mixing colors, and then it gets into the prompts, and it has really nice, it's only like 4 to 6 instructional steps. It tells you what colors you need to mix, and then you paint the photo. And it does, I don't know if you can see it because it's so bright, but they did already sketch out the little outlines for you of the 3 little dogs. And there's like a butterfly, a bunny. Sorry if you guys can't see this. My light is really washing out this white paper. Yeah, so she has this animal one. And then the first one I got myself because I forgot I got myself this one. I got myself another one as well. I got a little fruit one. Same thing, has the steps, and this is like the things you can paint inside. Also by Emily Leck's studio. I bought these at a local craft store, but they do have these on Amazon, so I will link them. And then this is Sage's book, My First Watercolor Painting. So this one has some instructions, a little more kid-friendly, a little bit more simple on how to paint things. And it does look like they have to draw their own outline. which is fine. She will like that. She really loves to draw. So she has that. And then because I forgot that I bought the fruit one for me or Alyssa, I also got this one from Hobby Lobby. Watercolor with me in the forest. So it just has lots of like flowers and woodland creatures, fish. Oh, it talks you through like texture stuff, which is actually one of our acrylic lessons is texture. Maybe I'll save that for that lesson. Yeah, so that's that. And then for future, so that's the first 12 weeks of art is just watercolor. And then we move on to acrylics. Let me pull out my list. Okay. First 12 weeks is watercolor, and then actually we move on to drawing and sketching for 6 weeks, and then we move on to acrylic painting for 6 weeks, and then we do sculpture and 3D art for 4 weeks, which is where we're going to do like clay pots, clay animals, sculptures, and then paper mache. And then we're going to do mixed media for 4 weeks, so doing like collages, watercolor and ink, like mixing things that we've learned. And then our last module is going to be art from different countries, inspired by different countries. So we're going to do a Japanese module. We're going to do, I haven't decided if we're going to paint or sculpt and paint. We're going to do alejibres. We're going to do Australian Aboriginal pattern pieces, and then an African textile piece. So that is our art curriculum for the year. And then, so that's the first day for specials. And then day 2, we are going to be doing personal finance, and we're kind of basing off of this Evan Moore financial literacy book. It is set up where I think we are going to be doing two days per lesson, and it will last us throughout the entire year, the way it's broken up, with only doing it 1 day a week. And then to go along with this, we also are going to have a system set up, which I would probably do a whole separate video on, just because I don't have it all laid out yet. But we're going to do a system where the girls can earn like classroom money, and they can spend it on different things. And then for Gabby specifically, we're going to do like a stock market simulation so that she has the opportunity to invest her classroom money and earn interest on it and make more money. So that's something that we're gonna do. If you guys want me to do a video talking about how we set that up and what systems we're using for the mock stock market trading, leave a comment below. That is something I've already thought about making. So if it's something you're interested in seeing, please let me know. So day number 3 is going to be music, and I have no clue what we're doing yet for music. So if you are a homeschool parent and you have any advice for me on how to handle music lessons, please leave a comment down below of your suggestions. That is something, for some reason, I have been putting off, and music was something that I did a lot when I was a kid, and I don't even know how I would go about teaching it. I loved singing, loved music, but I absolutely hated learning the logistics of it. So if you have any suggestions for me, please leave them down below. The 4th day of the week, we are going to be doing health. I have kind of just hodgepodged my own health curriculum together. For those of you who don't know me, I am a labor and delivery nurse, and I'm also a student nurse midwife. So this is kind of my wheelhouse. So I have just created my own health curriculum for the girls, and we are not really, obviously there's gonna be some things that we talk about that Sage isn't gonna quite understand, but that's one topic that I don't tone down for her. She knows all of the proper anatomical names for things. She's gonna learn about all of the things that Gabby's learning about. So again, if you're super interested in learning about what I'm going to teach 7th grader and a kindergartner about health and how I'm going to talk about that with 2 such very different ages, and just leave me a comment. And if that's something you guys really want a video on, I will be happy to make it for you. And then the last special of the week, this is specifically for Gabby. During this time, Sage will probably be doing something like ABC Mouse or something like that, or if she's not quite caught up on something else, that'll be time for her to do that. And again, she's a lot less attention span than Gabby does. So that will just be as the day goes, we will just decide what we're gonna do with that time with Sage. So for Gabby, it's going to be typing lessons, and that is going to be her one online class. So she has all of the things that she needs for that, and that will be in another video. My next video is going to be a homeschool supply haul, and this is my first year having to buy school supplies really for homeschooling, and I was actually surprised how much I didn't need. So If you like this video, please like it, please subscribe so you can see more content like this, and please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what curriculum you're using for your homeschooling. Let me know if you've used any of these things. I would love to hear from you guys. Again, we have never done anything like this. I have just done a lot of research, and this is what I found that I wanted to try, and I would love to hear your experiences. So please keep an eye out for that next video, which is going to be the homeschool supply haul. I'm going to show you all of the things that we've picked up to make this fun and easy for us, as fun and easy as homeschooling can be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye guys.